So in the last part we left off here at calculating the check digit. Now we have to start making the visual barcode representation. So let's start with that. Now remember that this asterisk represents the left and right guard bars, and this hash sign represents the middle guard bars. So keep that in mind, and then we're gonna use something to display that. We're gonna concatenate those values to display the right values at the end and the right bars that we need to calculate. So let's do that. The code is gonna be that means code equals code plus something else at the end. It's concatenating two strings. Let's check digits, because remember the check digit has to be added at the end. Then we're gonna introduce another variable that is gonna be code display. What is code display? Well, code display, it's how the code is gonna be displayed as plain numbers, and then that is equals code. And now the code equals sub str. Well, first we have to add the asterisk as the left guard bar. So asterisk, then we concatenate that string with the dot sub str code comma 0 comma 6. So what does this mean? Well, this means that we are adding the hash, the asterisk at the beginning, and then we are getting digits 0 through 6 for the first part of the barcode. Then we're gonna have the hash sign, which represents the middle guard bars at the middle, and then we're gonna also do sub str code, and now this time we're gonna get from digit 6, and the length is gonna be 6 digits. So we're getting from digit 6 all the way to the end, or all the way to the 12th digit, which includes the check digit. And now we're gonna put the asterisk again, which represents either the left or the right guard bar, or both. So now we have the encoded string on that. What we need to do now is to assign the width of the barcode in general, of the barcode area, because we already have the width for the bar, but we need to assign the width for the barcode area. So this dot width equals this that bar width times 95. What is 95? Well, 95 is the total number of single lines. If you count every single line, or by every single line I mean the smallest in width of the lines, or the one that is just one line. There are 95 lines all across the barcode lines. So in total there will be, if you put a white line next to a dark line, one and one, like alternate, there will be a total of 95 spaces. So that would be the total width of the barcode plus the padding that we created before. So there's that padding times 2, because we want the padding to be on the left and on the right. So we have that. Then the height, the height equals that bar width, sorry for the misspell, times 95. So now you might say, well, why do you want to do that again times 95? Well, essentially because we're going to multiply that by 0.75, or essentially 3/4 of the width. So essentially it's going to be, the width is going to be a certain width, and then 3/4 of the width is going to be the height of the barcode, plus this padding times 2, because there's also the top padding and the bottom padding. And now the last part we're missing is the var's height. This dot var height equals 95 times this bar width times 0.75. And essentially, which you have done this before, because it's actually the same thing as this one on top. So we're gonna move this to the top, and then this is gonna be this, that bar height. Now we're gonna use the GD library, the GD PHP library, to create this barcode. Barcode, which is gonna represent an image. It's gonna be image true color image true color, and the width equals that width, the height equals this height. Well, I forgot that it's image create true color. Essentially this means that it can have a transparent background. No, it doesn't mean that it can have a transparent background. It means that it can have multiple colors. So it's not only to define to black and white. But anyways, that's why you have to do it. Now let's declare two colors. Black equals image color allocate, and then which image you want to allocate that color for is the barcode. Remember, barcode is the image, it's not the barcode, it's the image. Now this is going to be 0, 0, and 0. That's going to be black. 0, 0, 0. RGB 0, 0, 0 stands for black. And white equals image color allocate, forget one letter, then allocated that for barcode image, and the color is going to be 255, 255, 255. That's pure white in RGB. Now we're going to fill that image with black. The barcode image black, starting at position 0, 0. And then we're going to do a rectangle image filled rectangle barcode then this border, essentially the starting position, the border, this border, then this width minus this border minus 1. Well, this might sound a little bit complicated to you, but it's not. I'm gonna explain it after I finish typing this, because otherwise I'll lose too much time and then you get a 2-hour long tutorial. And this var height minus this border minus 1, and then what color? White. What this means is that you start filling this out with the white background and what is the y coordinate and the x coordinate. So the y coordinate, the x1 coordinate on where it starts, it's the barcode, the border. So if the border is 2, it starts at 2 pixels. Now the y coordinate, it's the border, I mean the width of this times of the width minus the border minus 1. So what that essentially is that the width, what essentially is that the width is, well, I think I forgot something here. Yeah, the y coordinate is also this border because it starts on the top at that position. So it's this border, this border. So we have the border on top the same as the border on the bottom. So now on the right, on the y coordinate, x coordinate at the end is gonna be this dot width minus this dot border minus 1. That minus 1 is to make sure that it shows the correct aspect ratio in both sides. Let's continue on. Now we have the basic structure of that done. What we need to do now is to start adding the bars, right? So that's gonna be done like this. You do, let's start with the bar position of the element of the current number or element. Bar position equals this, that padding. Essentially this means that the first bar is gonna be after the padding exactly. So the padding is the x position of the first bar. Then we start a loop, a for loop, and then we start a variable called count equals 0. I press the insert button accidentally. Code equals 0. Then code is less than 15. Why 15? Because remember we added 3 more characters. It was 12, but we added the left guard bar, the right guard bar, and the middle guard bars. So in total is 15 characters. So we want to make sure we loop 15 times, and then count plus plus, update the count. Oh, what happened here? I guess there was something missing there. Now the character equals code and then count. Yes, code and count. Again, we're using the same thing as before. This is an array of characters. It's actually a string, but an array of characters. And now we're gonna do something else. We're gonna do another loop for inside the loop, and we have code map equals, or actually no, it's gonna be for the code map, but let's do a variable sub count because it's actually counting too. Sub count equals 0. Sub count is less than your length of this, and let's search for what we call this. We call this map code. So map code, remember, it's an array, an associative array. Map code, and then we do character, then semicolon, and then sub count plus plus. What we're gonna do now, if count is less than 7, what essentially is, if count is less than 7, that means it's the left part. So we're gonna use this color as, we're gonna use this color, we're gonna assign this color to the default map code, or the left map code. So that's gonna be color, and then we are gonna evaluate that here, and in E9 evaluation, that map code character, then sub count equal to 0. So if that equals 0, then the color is white. Otherwise, the color is black. This here is essentially taking every character of this coding structure, or this code map, and mapping that to a color. Now, else, I'm going to do something similar, color. Essentially, we're going to just duplicate this, but instead of from my code, we're going to take it from right map. Okay, we're getting to that point where we're almost done. If I'm gonna do a check for the offset of the height, because you see that here, that all the height is not always off at the same level here at the bottom, in order to fit those numbers in. So if str length of this, the code map character equals 7, offset equals this height, this height times 0.05. I'll explain this, what this means right now. Height offset equals 0. What this is that if what that means is, remember that this left area here, all these numbers have 7 characters in the map, and this one has also 7 characters. The only ones that have 3 are the left guard bars and the right guard bars, and the other ones have 5, which is the middle guard bar. So if those are found, the ones in the left area and on the right area, then you offset the height of the bars by 5%. Otherwise, the offset of the bar is 0. Now we're gonna get ready to draw the bar. Image, field, rectangle, barcode, var position, that's the X position of the bar, comma, this padding, that's the Y position on top of the bar, then bar position plus this, that, bar width minus 1, comma, this, bar height minus height offset. And then comma and color. But wait, we're missing something. Remember that the padding for the bottom, this, the padding for the bottom. Now let's continue and let's add the label. Should we add the label, or should we check if it's working correctly? Well, now let's generate the header for that image, and that's gonna be done, let's see here. Let's put the header type, header, content, type, image, PNG. Format I want is a PNG format. So image, PNG. Remember the barcode is the image. So PNG barcode, then image, destroy, barcode. Now what this is gonna do is it's gonna generate the image right on the spot. So let's test that out. Let's test it here. Oh no, let's create another file. New, scope, save this file, save as, and then in the UPC, let's call it index.php. So we have that now, index.php, PHP, open tag, close tag, and let's include that class file, include UPC.php. Now let's instantiate that class, the UPC class. UPC equals new UPC. I remember the constructor, we want to pass us the null, and the part width is going to be, let's say, 4 pixels. 4 pixels is quite about right. And then the number equals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1. So that has 11 digits. Now let's pass 12 digits. See what happens. It's supposed to filter that out. Then UPC build number. It's supposed to display the barcode. Now let's test that out. See if that works. Let's go to localhost. See if that works. So what happened? It's not showing anything. So it means that there's an error somewhere. Now to detect this error, what we can do is eliminate the header type and see what had happened to that. Let's go back to the UPC, eliminate this header tag, and refresh. Let's see what's happening here. Inspect code. There's nothing really happening. So I'm gonna pause the video and tell you what happened. Okay, what happened is that here it says is int, and that's not gonna work. That's why it didn't execute, and that it didn't generate. It's supposed to be is numeric, because the value that you're passing to that value, to that function, is a string. So you have to check if that string is a numeric string in order to validate that function. Here also it says code map, but that's wrong because code map doesn't exist, so it's map code. So that was another mistake. That's why it wasn't quite generating the picture. Well, the main mistake was the one on top. And here also in this loop, we have, you see that in the middle it says code, and it's not code, it's count. That's why it's not correctly executing what we need. So now let's see, let's refresh. Okay, we still don't get the code quite right, and that's probably because we're doing something else wrong, but we're gonna fix that in the next part of this tutorial series to see why it's not generating the right code and the right barcode. So if you like any of my videos, subscribe to my channel, comment on the videos, and thumbs up on the videos that you like.